I was hoping for C9 to start CT side. You know, I think it's going to be a little bit closer of a series. I do have NIP to win this though.
Hampers with the P250. Thumbs up from me. Looking for a peek from the upper area. There'll be Glocks on roads. Aside from that, they've got some utility though. Do NIP. 2 smokes, the Molotov, and a flashbang as well. Brehze throws his gun on the floor to suggest that the bomb is being thrown on the floor because it makes the same sound. That would be the reason why he did that, if you're wondering at home.
Dan pointed it out on overpass as well when they dropped a pistol in the water. Same thing, because it sounds like you're dropping as a model, so that's why you see people dropping their pistols down there. You hear the splash.
So it's top banana, for example, you might see somebody drop a weapon, or even just make one step to suggest it's an accident.
Yeah, and it's fine. It used to be much more apparent. You know, back in the day, we used to do it a lot more. But I think nowadays, because it happens so much, people just like, oh, I think it's a fake, like he's dropping and stuff like that. So I think a 400 IQ play would be to fake, you know, that you're not there, but you have all 5 members there just dropping weapons and shit.
That would be fun.
One extra flash.
But for those of you at home, like when someone says, you know, bait for me, and they just start shooting randomly, which is super obvious for the opponent, but there are other things you can do like that. Suggest there is a surge coming when really there isn't. Pretty slow pissed around, 30 seconds as NIP start to move up Ivy. Again, they did show some light presence towards B before, so we'll see how this plays out.
Oh, nice start there. Nice one tap from Alex. NIP does have control now of the outside. Bombs down though. Talk about the defensive side. That's a great little start from C9.
That's what they needed. And they also denied the bomb plant, so that extra money is not going to be available. And that extra money is just so huge on a map like this, because you can just, let's say everyone can get P250s, maybe one guy has a Mac 10, and then everyone just loads up on utility. And that utility is extremely powerful in rushes, I feel like, in your force buy scenarios. So it's a shame for NIP they don't have that option, so they're just going to come full save here.
They do have 2 flashbangs though. It's a full save at this. Normally, if you're CT, you either allow the T's to just get the bomb down, or you play very much like Cloud9 is playing right now with 2 guys inner, throw some nades and stuff like that. But there's one spot that you tend to go on train when you have full eco, and that's for the sole purpose of trying to get a bomb down. Ideally as well, we see the same thing from NIP, that you drop from upper just to get the same kind of feel of, you know, having people kind of trying to shoot you as you're jumping down. Yeah, he would have heard a nade as well. Yeah, it was a fantastic setup for C9. Definitely, you know, waiting for it, especially not getting the bomb down. It's a little bit less risky of standing like that as well, expecting NIP to be on a save.
But because also NIP didn't, I think they had like 1 P250 maybe, and otherwise just 4 Glocks and 2 flashes, they're still able to get that almost full utility, despite not getting the bomb down, which is nice. I feel like sometimes players or teams will over-invest. But it all adds up. So this is going to be interesting. First buy round for NIP. We'll have to see how they decide to condition their opponents. A nice forward setup here from Mezzy. They have these SMGs. Why not use them in those close ranges where they perform their best? And there's an AK. And it doesn't look like Mezzy's going to get punished on the way out. So great start for Cloud9. It's not over just yet, though. NIP, quick response to walk upper.
This is probably one of the best solutions they would have had as well. Only floppy here, obviously, again with SMG. It's a bit of a bonus round for CTs, having to buy these weapons and then coming to the 3rd round, having to keep them. That's a good entry here, though, from NIP. Getting floppy, that means that the whole bomb site now is completely open. Alex goes down as well. You can make the argument that that should not have happened. Definitely now with NIP with the advantage, even though it's a 3-on-3. I say that, though, Stavn with 2 nice kills, 3 kills to his name.
I thought they were going to get wrecked on that rotation into the B bomb site. Didn't look ideal for Cloud9, especially with the health on the likes of Mezzy. But here we are. Twist finds himself just outside of the bomb site. Does he commit to losing more here? Pretty much guaranteed to die, so I think he'll hold on to the AK. Well, I can see you literally doing that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in that spot, you don't even have a molly or like a flashbang to kind of, you know, try and go for a peek and try and kill the diffuser. So very tough spot to be in. All on the hands of Seppa there. What an incredible 3-kill from him. Was not looking very likely there. NIP in good positions, gets the first 2 kills right off the bat on the inner bomb site, gets the bomb down, makes it a 3v3. A very snappy aim there. Still another buy round though for NIP. But also a very good buy from C9 here. Oh, AWP on Alex. It's a fast round. Hamp is already out in the middle of 5 and 6 train.
And Zeppa looking dangerous early. Now he's got an AK-47 in his hands as they look for ninjas in pajamas. On the other side of these smokes, XANTARES will create some space for himself. Gonna look over the smoke, of course. Oh, that's so fast as well. Hampus looking for a peek from a CT, but XANTARES was so fast to the headshot. Minute 15 as NIP continues to push. XANTARES got to be careful now. He just swings past towards D-box and lands a headshot on Blobsky, then follows up. Third kill now for XANTARES. Zeppa finally turning up to get traded, but Brehze is alone.
They should know it's a one-way there as well. Normally, wait. That's a good start though. 1 on 3, 1 on 2 now.
None on 2 now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about NIP. Normally when you get out there, especially when you get the E-box and stuff. Oh, did he move it?
He's moved it. It's gone. The Haribo's gone.
No way. Maybe he needed a snack, man. Maybe he's to the right now instead. He's checking just to see if we're paying attention. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is where you kind of see, even from the 2 peaks here, Twist coming in, there's a one-way. Like I said, you normally wait for the smokes to fade when you get out the E-box there, especially when you go out to the left side of T-Con. But a little bit too eager to want to go for the fights. Gives the advantage over to XANTARES on the one-way. Nice hold. Good start again here from C9. Very much the same start we saw from Overpass.
Good taste in knives. I've got one of those. Underrated, I would say. You can get 100% fade for about $600.
I only have the butterfly knife, the really crappy one, camouflage version.
Any BFK is good these days. They have risen in price quite significantly.
I think I checked though. It's like $50. I don't know. It's like
no, definitely isn't. Don't get scammed, Robin. We got fire and flashes. NIP tries to plant the bomb or do some damage. Either one not happening at present. Hampus has got to carry that bomb just to get the trade frag on the floppy to make some space for them. Bomb's been dropped now. If I can Zeppa up top, I can hear some help to their left as well. So there'll be 2 kills and no bomb plant for Ninjas in Pajamas. They do have maximum loss bonus though, so it could be worse. But it's not going great for them on this T side so far.
Yeah, I wouldn't even make their... It's one thing, yeah, they came out to E-box and stuff like that, but they never really had a chance to hit the bomb site. So would have liked to see a timeout here from NIP. It's not going to happen though. We do have an op here though for first time in this half from nawwk. Try and match Alex's. We'll see where both of these guys are going.
Ivy pressure coming. So oh man, the stuff we saw from Alex here, these close setups in the game against Furia worked out really well for Cloud9 time and again. Looks like NIP won't fall foul to it just yet, and they still have that presence around Ivy. That's quite the run boost.
That's a new one people are doing more and more just to get out of the other side. I feel like normally you do double boost under, by the wall, but it's really just to showcase that you're on there. Forces someone to leave maybe. Floppy trying to go for some information play. We saw that yesterday versus Furia as well from C9. Alex and Floppy trying to do that play, trying to get some information so he could fall back. Despite that though, I still like this call. As I say that, C9 rotates 2 guys to inner, but I think that Floppy did provide some information, which means that you could gamble a little bit more here, but they gamble for inner. Yeah,
it's a rough one as well because they lost a player on team A. And there could be a CT for all they know over there as well. But as I say that, every aggression up the ramp here on inner, it feels like Alex just loves it. He loves aggressing in this position so much.
Hey, it's working out because look at NIP, they want to rotate over, but just because they spotted the third, like technically you make the argument here, like maybe they should have rotated back. But it's putting Cloud9 in a really good spot here. Messi in a great position as well, very aggressive. Gets the first kill onto nawwk. 3 on 2, bomb goes down.
Oh! 15 seconds. That's great from Messi. And now Twist, he needs to find both kills here, ideally. 9 seconds on the clock. He might have half a chance to plant this bomb. Alex creeping from Ivy. Twist doesn't seem to know where he is just yet. Got to be careful about his legs as well with the shape of this train, but same could be said for Alex. Down he goes, despite the best efforts of Mezzi with the stylish flicks. It will be a round for Ninjas in Pajamas.
Huge clutch.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alex is the last one left there with the AWP left. Really nice round by Twist, 1-on-3. Good positions there from C9. I really like their mid-round takes here. I mean, they're very active on the map as CT.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, like it doesn't feel like there's been many teams historically for me that, like you would see more Ivy or team main or even pop aggressions than you would see the kinds of aggressions that we're seeing from Alex around inner, like multiple times. But hold out thought here, because S-Tag getting caught off guard around Sandwich, Hampus using the smoke to get out into new positions to cause problems. This is or could be a huge turning point for NIP. They're ahead in the arsenal that they have right now. They are in a great position in this 5v4. If they can come to a good conclusion, things are going to be great for them. But Zeppa, he's been phenomenal so far. He's looking to create problems. Oh, doesn't understand.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if this is like a, you know, NA or you know, Chaos or something inexperienced, but he's making a lot of noise there in between. And even though he's not spotting anyone, he's giving away so much information to the teams of always knowing where you have one member. Obviously comes back to bite him in the tushy. Still 4-on-3 though. Bomb goes down. I think Messi's just going to be saving this AWP. Always the cast the curse though. He gets the first. And because of that, they go for it instead. Leaving Twist now with a 1-on-2 situation. Is he going to do another 1 versus 3?
Yeah, Mezzi doesn't have a kit. I don't know if there's one on the floor. Switching out for the AK-47, he can maybe use the smoke to try and bait something up. But the line of the bomb train is so simple to spray a smoke. He's found a feat from Twist now. 22 HP. Twist staying alive might be enough to win the round at this point. If Mezzi can't find a kit, then there's no way he's winning this round. But he'll at least make it expensive for Ninjas in Pajamas.
That's another really nice round from Twist. That's 2 rounds in a row that he's found himself in a 1 versus 3 situation. Wins both of them. Yeah, take a sip of Coke. You deserve it. Keeping them in the game here.
Yeah, S-Tag moved into Sandwich. There was a molly from A main in towards Ivy, which I think most people are going to throw from having gone out of Ivy, I mean out of main rather, onto the bomb site towards the Olof position. But he didn't really check it properly. Maybe expecting him to have fallen back. And then again with Zeppa elephanting around after that, went from bad to worse. But they still made it very close, Cloud9, despite the loss. But
yeah,
indeed
definitely
it was
some economical damage. And you pointed out with C9 obviously not being in a good spot with their economy. Same could be said about NIP of these close rounds. Still this round though, definitely weapon and utility advantage. But it's a good buy nonetheless for C9. They've used up all their banks, their savings. Could afford themselves an SMG and a scout. The fact that S-Tag and Floppy gets 2 and 3 here. Full on brawl.
great presence of mind from Alex. Calm shot onto Hampus. And they've got the sound cues for nawwk as well with how close Zeppa is. He'll find an AK for his troubles. And this is this has been brutal fashion. The Cloud9 should pull a third round out of the bag. They'll do exactly that. See if Mezzi can upgrade his scout with something. But that one came and went pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that was a round that we just talked about with NIP not having a lot of money. So them opting to go for an inner rush play here. Definitely works out in the favor of C9. We should be seeing NIP now forced on another force buy or just a full flat-out save. They do. I was going to say, it's a replay. I was just like, there's no way they can afford this kind of buy. But yeah, very quick on the rotates from C9 here as well. Not only did it go too aggressive, but they had 2 members more there to help them out right off the bat. And we look at NIP's economy. Tactical is called, but not a lot of money to be... Probably not a lot of money to be used here on the NIP side. It's a little bit of in between. You always talk about the conversation here of like, do we want to buy a half buy here of just, doing some damage, or do we just want to go for a quick like double eco here or rather just a full save and then we can get buy twice? I think NIP is doing something somewhere in between. No armors, but a little bit of utility. Again, an argument can be made of trying to go for a bomb plant inner. some nades there for NIP trying to kill the guy that jumps on the bomb train outside. But like I said, the plan here is at least to do a bit of an execute. We have 2 smokes, a lot of flashbangs. Because the timing wasn't quite there and it's very quiet alongside of the map, it might be a bit of a fake of just showing up like we just want to take tiziaN and ladder control. But with them losing Hampus now, even getting a bomb plant, I'd say that it's going to be a little bit more difficult now.
Yeah, the overall setup is just can't.
Because look at C9,
question.
right? It's very much a Fnatic setup here for Cloud9 coming in. 3 guys outside, very aggressive, going to be very quick on the rotates, and 2 guys holding inside in a defensive fashion, but very safe positioning here from C9.
Totally agree. It's hard to really do much on a map like Train on the T side when there are setups like this. You have to sort of find a way to force the issue. You can't really get those spots to get picks easily. You got to use utility, you got to use numbers, and as we can see, it's a non-issue for Cloud9, cleaning things up 7-2. Really strong half so far, and I think we're really seeing a lot of confidence from everybody on Cloud9's side right now. It really feels like everybody's delivering, and buy once again for NIP. Looking to see what to expect here. Double molly, or well, at least like one molly coming in deep there from Cloud9 on Ivy to slow down NIP. At the same time, NIP will have inner control as well. So default playing out, presence pretty much everywhere except T main, which at this point could be a problem. Cloud9 do have the option to take an info play there, and that's exactly what they're doing. They have got T main control now, Cloud9.
T main control and also damage from Messi over on Hampus. It's a little bit more spread out though now, at least. We do hit the 1 minute mark and we see the positioning, so even for C9, a bit of a wonky setup, but there's 4 guys outside, which is floppy inside. Based on NIP's movements, we're probably going to be seeing an outside split. It's going to be on timing on Plopsy here, moving back to tiziaN. I really like it from S-Tag as well. He saved me the smoke, and he knows as well there's no movement, so I'm just going to smoke tiziaN out at this part. 30 seconds left. They're going to be very, very bad on timing here. And I think this is honestly just going to be a Cloud9 win. Just because there's been no movement, NIP hasn't really tried to force the nades over from C9 stand. As I say that, though, again, the caster curse is real. 3-on-3 situation now. 17 seconds left. No smokes left though on NIP, so it's still a very difficult spot. And they just keep on peeking though, as I say that every single time. You don't have to plant. They have to plant the bomb, and we just like keep on.
Wow.
What's going on? Like, what's happening here?
What's really insane too is, as you said, like Cloud9 figured out what NIP were doing because they got the T main control, because of all of the position and info they had, and they understood precisely what was coming, and then it still took 30 seconds for it to actually happen. And at no point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why in a lot of defaults it's really strong to take away ladder control if you can, but also make sure you don't lose team main control, because you have to re-clear that at some point. Because otherwise, if the CTs have it, it can just kill rounds like that. But still, NIP, they, as you say, they hit every single shot. Works out for them.
Great awareness from Twist. Almost had the trade frag. Almost is not good enough though. But how on earth has Hampus got here? He knows the second is around the corner. He also knows he could have a rifle. The smoke is up and the CT's behind it, so he can focus on the site itself with his teammates now. Might even have some utility to deal with Ivy. In the meantime, he's going to creep into the middle of the site. There'll be some timing in play here as Zeppa tries to figure out where this player is. Oh, North now. A crouch peek elsewhere. Zeppa now has the bomb and a rifle. High variance round for both squads, but it's gone heavily in favor of Cloud9 for the time being, but we've seen how this can turn out.
It was funny, Zeppa got that kill, but I think that he thought that was the guy, that was Hampus. So he kind of stopped watching there for a second. Messi was still paying attention though, so... Not a good round from C9. Going a little bit aggressive there, Ivy play. But yeah, NIP got, they got out of tiziaN just for free. S-Tag was opting towards ladder room instead, so he was running straight to the left, and obviously NIP going straight out tiziaN to the left, so they missed each other. Timing was definitely in NIP's favor, but it's still another round on the board from C9. So we talked about their CT side yesterday. I think they've gotten 2 more rounds here than they did versus Furia. They got 6 versus them. So definitely been one of the better CT sides we've seen from C9 outside of Overpass.
Hampers the lone AK here for NIP. What he can do with these peaks, and that's not a bad start at all. Taking down Zephyr. He will have some reinforcements now, so NIP can breach this team main position, looking to move forward. Oh, so much damage being done here. Floppy and Mezzy critically weak. Floppy getting 1 kill, but look at the positions now being gained by NIP as they close in on XANTARES' position. He's got to be wary of that. But still, it looks like they are keeping them at arm's length, though casualties are being had. And it doesn't feel very good for Cloud9 right now, especially, oh, no, it's going to wrap S the tag. Another AK collected, and I don't even know how this happened, but Cloud9 are in a very bad spot. But Mezzy, he could get a double out of this.
Oh, no! Oh my god, that's insane!
No bullets, it's heartbreaking.
Very nice effort though. 1 more bullet, he gets that kill, and it's a 1-on-1. Sure, he's still very low, he has no idea where the third is, and maybe you can make the argument he would have probably not won that anyway, but nonetheless.
I mean, it's train, and the other guy has to plant, so yeah, it's that's rough, man. But the question too is, how did it get to that point? There was 1 AK, everybody else is on a save pretty much, and they managed to win against full buy.
Yeah, it's again, I feel like it's a little bit weird. You can definitely tell that C9 is definitely just, you know, getting up to speed in what's going on, because right as they go out, you know, you see where Seppa dies. He's in the middle of E-box and ladder room, and doesn't seem to be aware that NIP can just walk out T-con and kill him. Kind of maybe expecting a teammate to be covering him or something. But it's also nice. It's the same thing when you have a new team. Like at the end of it, like these are all practice games, right? When you go back and rewatch the games, you just take away so much from it. So while it might seem sloppy right now, we just have to always keep in mind that they are a new team, and these are the stuff that's just bound to happen. We're obviously looking ahead a long term. I mean, a few months from now, it would be more of a conversation if these mistakes kept on happening by then. But we can't allow it now. Nice. I love this aggressive play from C9 again, just really hammering on the IV play. I think that's 3 rounds in a row they've tried to do something with it with Messi. In the range, Seppa was there this time around too.
It's good too, because a lot of the defaulting has been some form of a 2-1-2, so nice way to take initiative straight away. And they've kind of forced NIP to have to go B as well, with some of the action early on here. And it might not favor Cloud9 after all, though. Zeppo is getting 1 kill, but it pales in comparison to the trio of kills that Plopsky has enabled with the help of Hampers. So NIP will get away with just a straight up inner push after losing Ivy control.
Since it's a round loss anyway, CSGO just tweeted there's some new updates to the RMR event, some coaching updates as well.
Anything good?
During online matches, only players are allowed in the room and on the server. Neither coaches nor any other team staff will be allowed in the room, on the server, or to otherwise communicate with the team during an online match. So this is a big change, I guess. You can make the argument as well. I was never really a fan of the whole thing with like the discussion could be made about online era of, you know, coaches essentially calling at all times and stuff like that. I think it's a good change. I would say that I would put a little bit more on the TO as well of, you know, kind of ensuring the competitiveness and, you know, maybe getting translators and stuff like that to ensure the coaches can still talk during timeouts and stuff like that. I think that is a bit of a jab. But it makes sense nonetheless, considering what happened last year with all the drama. So
it seems that they're more accepting to the 6th player thing, because they've said that their teams can name a substitute that doesn't have to take the coach spot, which is good, because they've been. I don't think they've been as welcoming to that in the past, like having an extra player on a team. It says teams can now specify a substitute player, any player who is not registered to participate or substitute for another team that is separate from their coach.
Yeah.
A team incurs a penalty when they substitute out a player in an event, but there is no penalty when that player is brought back in. What's the penalty? Doesn't say what the penalty is. Okay, well, Things to be answered later. Anti-eco territory not necessarily going the way of an instant jump just yet. Brehze getting his bell rung as well. And still no kills to show for this these risks being taken here by NIP, but they have got some map control at the very least. Thinning the numbers now. See if does he jump around the corner? Go on, jump. No, he doesn't do it. S-Tag and Alex remaining. Well, it's been a very back and forth affair in this first half of Nuke. Hunden did tweet earlier, and I think I don't know if I can find it now, but he said something like he thought that CSGO would have that Cloud9 would have a tough time on train. Really respected NIP's game, but it has been there's been a lot of difficulty for both squads, I'd say, on this first half.
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird situations for sure. Trying to sneak away with a weapon here. Sneak. Work out, however. It's looking like a pretty good half overall for Cloud9, even if... oh, nice shot. Oh, that's really nice going into the last round. Obviously, there's loads of money here for NIP, so the economy, it doesn't really matter, but it feels good for S-Tag. He gets to hold on to an AK-47 as well, which is always good. But yeah, I feel like, you know, both teams can be fairly happy with how this half ends up. But Cloud9 definitely, it feels like had an opportunity for a lot more. And I think some of those, there are some of those like weird mistakes I think you were mentioning, Robin, that perhaps has cost Cloud9, you know, two, even maybe 3 rounds that they could have had.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But I would also put it on a little bit when we see that as well from C9 with a bit of a sloppy play as well. You can make the argument for NIP that maybe doing a little bit more slower plays as well, having C9 make more mistakes be beneficial. Like this one, for example. Yeah. Comes from a flashbang from Flopsky, and Floppy gets too white and can't really get away. And because of that as well, they do have like a firing hit squad here for lower. Rest and Hamp is already down here, smoke down. You do see the rotates coming in from C9 though, so this is a little bit wonky. I don't think NIP really quite knows that Alex is here, so we'll see if they're going to be aware. Steppa goes down, Alex goes down. Nice solid play here from NIP to close off the half. Looking to be... Again, I have to say that.
Robin, stop it!
I know. It's looking to be an 8-7. You know, listen, I'm still faithful, man. There's one flash left on C9. Messi does have a kit, but, you know, Molotov was just landed. It was a very early Molotov, though, from nawwk. So there's still going to be enough time. And okay, fair enough. Yeah, they won. And that comes back to, again, I guess, jaCkz. Dude, it's unreal, man. Every time you open them out, and it's just like instantly like 2 kills. That's going to round out the first half, though. I was actually starting to get a little bit worried. Maybe someone accidentally exited the game and got the update and had to re-download the beta version, but we're all good. We're all gooch. 9-6, swapping over. Now C9 on that T side. We're struggling yesterday versus Furia, so we'll see. They did get 9 CT rounds though, so in terms of a cushion, they definitely have it. But pistol rounds on the way.
Yeah, that's a great frag, and Hamp is able to fall back off of that twist. Oh, he's got them jumping at him through the smoke. That's not going to feel good for him. Hamp is still creeping around by E-box now. And he is looking for the next engagement, but Alex will have his... But I like how Cloud9 is slowing this down now. It's just really smart to do that. Try to get a bearing as to what, you know, who has what position. Put your info together, and interestingly, we'll get a rotation from nawwk all the way down to the back line, so he can play with Res. Long USP headshot angles. Definitely a good thing to do, especially as you'll be up against some Glocks at this point. S-Tag and Alex have collected USPs as well, but try to play the range game. Always good with the USP. There you go. Where are the rest? Point they could be anywhere, but here are some footsteps. Rez is baiting perhaps with footsteps. I'm not sure, but he's made a lot of noise. There, he's actually baited out a peek indeed. Mezzi will go down. Alex now closing in his position. Great swing from Rez. He was so very aware of all of that.
Yeah, nice hold from NIP there. As you mentioned, Rez, obviously one of the better performers on the pistols for NIP. Gets himself a nice little 3 kill. Probably not the start you wanted for C9. Doesn't get the bomb down. So same argument could be made here. I think we saw maybe C9 on map 1 yesterday, not getting the bomb down. Yeah, we saw it again here today. They actually go for a full buy. This is not very common. When you don't get the bomb plant, you tend to just do the one save and you buy next. Still getting the AKs, but C9 opting for a full buy here instead. A lot of utility, pistols and armors. First sets of nades are out. It's a super fast round as well.
Twist with the French drill around Ivy. Plenty of footsteps around the hell position. Mork having a look-see. Smells blood in the water. Brehze will have some help soon from Plopsky by that E-box position, which will be much needed. What's been a problem with these pistols? And while these players are low, there are more of them than there are of Twist.
He is the clutch king though, Twist. He's already had 2 1-on-3s this half. That's the first start. Sapa is extremely low as well, and Twist does have an idea on where he's at. He's spotted him now as well. Nicely done from Twist. Another round on the board for an IP here. Definitely been keeping in this game here. I feel like Cloud9 could have definitely run away with it otherwise.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. All headshots, of course, from Twist, even when he's shooting at the dead body.
Yeah, there's the little sigh of relief. It's like, do I have to do this all myself, guys? Come on. I'll do it. I'd love some help.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this round will look like. Now we have Cloud9 on that T side, and is it going to be a big difference in the performance? And how ready do they feel?
Yeah, I mean, and even that round as well, right? They bought there, and the only Twist is alive. They got the bomb down, so C9, we don't see it yet, but they're definitely going to buy again. Like it makes no reason for them not to. You know, NIP's economy are very bad, and with the bomb going down, you make the argument that you're probably going to be looking at. Yeah, let's see the team money here. Compare equipment value still better in the hands of NIP, but it's still a very good buy here from C9. And it's 2 Mac-10, so it makes me believe there's going to be another fast round here with 2 of them as well. We're running inside, and we're taking a lot of map control out of the hands of NIP.
Yes, all the control. NIP holding formation at the moment. Can play retake on B, and that's going to be the case here. There's nobody ready to defend. They have, obviously, Rez and Popdog, and Alex is looking for that rotation. Rez can just hold that, let his teammates rotate. In fact, Cloud9 not going immediately, and NIP now have 2 players on the B site. Cloud9 look like they are resetting the situation, cutting noise, and then they'll run their stat piece into the sites. Perhaps hoping that NIP won't have as many players here, but it feels quite telegraphed at this point, and NIP are convinced. They have everybody ready to defend. Great catch from Plopsky, but it's not looking too good. Zeppa, he just finds these kills out of nowhere.
Falling apart for NIP.
Yeah.
Rez and Hampus. I think their hand has been played already. Very important frags towards the end there as the bomb was planted, and looks like Cloud9 will be heading to 10 as Ninjas in Pajamas will look to hold on to what they have. I mean, even though they've got no money, really, and they're going to be broke in the next round, the AWP could prove to be very, very useful. Although we saw Cloud9 were willing to walk into a bomb site with minimal warning when in overpass, and perhaps they'll do something to try and thwart the chances of this AWP stealing around in the next round.
They had a very similar round like that as well on train yesterday versus Furia. Just walk inner and then just one pop flash for lower, and then we just explode. Might be a good round for this round, to your point, James, with an AWP saved. But yeah, this is, I mean, we see the buy as well coming in from C9, and we kind of expected this as well, right? But we want to make sure that we take map control inside. We can't just stay on the bomb site with the Mac-10s especially, and being very fast at that. NIP barely even makes it out to CT Con.
Yeah, and it was such a slow roll as well from Cloud9 too, and NIP had it, loads of players in position. It wasn't as though they didn't have, like they hadn't already gotten out of connect or anything like that, and it was like an issue of timing and positioning. They had the timing, they had the positioning, but they couldn't hold the site. And that's actually a very scary prospect, honestly, going forward, because now that's going to be something Cloud9 will remember. Then they will say, okay, well, we feel pretty good about our ability to just actually straight up challenge this, or even just slow roll the B site. So we'll see how maybe they can play on that fear even that NIP might now have in future rounds to come. There's lots of ways to respond to that if you're the CT side.
They should go and opt for a buy here. Obviously, buying because Hampus saved the AWP. Doesn't get dropped, so Hampus keeps it over nawwk. You might think that that's confusing. It's a semi half take for outside here on timing for C9, and they are out by E-box and stuff like that. Full-blown chaos though ensues. 4-on-3 situation. And NIP is just forced to leave his bomb sites by themselves. They don't have enough utility either to kind of retake this. So again, without the caster curse, I'll just say this: they're going to be some headshots needs to be landed. Yeah,
when you're considering, they're always risking losing the AWP here. There is a point where it's like, is it no longer worth it? And I think that point has come and gone.
Yeah. And that's always the beauty here as well, especially even if you say the SMG or even the Deagle on nawwk, like you make the argument of technically you can buy next round as well. It does get damaging though to a point of like how many times can you realistically do that before you just keep on losing rounds, so you just keep on staying with weapons. So you really want to get to a point where you do have the economy up in order. It's not around though on the board for C9. 11-8.
It kind of feels like Cloud9 is going to win, right? It feels like NIP don't have the same level of confidence as...
I might have jinxed a little bit, Dan, but you're the ultimate jinx by, taking away your prediction.
What if I predict Cloud9 right now?
No, I mean, listen, when we get the winners interview, Dan, if you do that, like, me and James will definitely be throwing you under the bus.
All right. Okay, well,
we might still throw you under the bus, Dan. It's left to find out.
Well, Cloud9 will be charging into the A-bomb site. Smokes are up, and Flopsky is having a look-see with the MP9. Traded, though, by high explosive. Now gives Cloud9 position and a man advantage. We can see the rotation at the back of the site, including Hampus with the AWP. And again, doesn't want to go too far. Even more so now that nawwk's been lost. That takes all their control away. Well, not control, but presence, rather. And Brehze will try to help protect this AWP, which Cloud9 must know is still in play now. How much will they invest into chasing it down? Job has been done for now. Hampus will collect, but the chase is on, as we can see. Brehze will collect. Well then, 12-8. Cloud9 with some momentum on their T side.
Yeah, and not a lot of money on NIP either, so we won't be seeing an op in the hands of either Hampus, nawwk, or Twist. Opting for some AUGs instead. But still, money is in pretty dire shape here, if we were to compare that to C9. Definitely have the upper hand at the moment. Didn't see a timeout here either from NIP, so we'll see if they do have another approach here on this round. Starting 4 guys outside. Normal default from C9.
Not really any nades at all left on NIP. It's a minute and a half left. 3 smokes and a Molotov. Zero flashes. It's never good to be in that kind of a position, especially if Cloud9 were to run an execute against you. Especially if Cloud9 can eke out another smoke or two before they finish on or decide to commit onto a site. Then they would be, at least from a utility perspective, in a very strong position. Now, Popsky is playing the upper position on these sites, and he's gonna lose that battle. It's a difficult angle. He's on the left eye, Floppy's on the right eye. It's kind of an even angle, but Floppy gets the advantage of knowing when he's going to peak that angle. So, slight advantage there on the person taking the initiation or the initiative.
Look at the push here, though, coming in from Hampus. He's already in T-con, so the call should be made. Obviously, Twist is smart here enough. You tend to have a guy in Ivy, but he does go down. nawwk as well. Alex with a nice no-scope. NIP had the read, but again, we still have to land the shots, and that's what C9 did.
I saw on the radar a push for a smoke on Ivy to get the kill on, I think it was Twist. I don't know what Twist was looking at, or if there was a flash dropped or something to get him to turn away. Couldn't tell from here, but there was such a low time, and the three smoke stand pointed out they still had those sub 1 minute mark after Plopsky was lost up at B, one was dropped to lower B, but to no avail, as we can see, more of that push didn't really work out for him, and Cloud9 going from strength to strength. It's going to be a big comeback, I feel like, now for Ninjas in Pajamas, should it be successful. And for the most part, the next round is eco territory. Absolutely is now with the headshot from Zephyr.
Yeah, and again, we talk about economy 13-8 now. C9's economy just getting better and better. NIP just in a bad spot, 3.3k. Again, we can talk about buying here, but you can make a conversation as well that NIP has not had a good time on their seat side so far with little to no utility and also no ops. So would like to them to save here instead. Heck, if not, nothing else works. Let's pick up the double ops. Let's utilize those. Even if Hampus is picking it up, that means you have 3 operas really on your team that could essentially carry that. There we see it again. Again, with the fade of the smoke, very common nowadays, especially later on in the round, especially in lower and with the timing. Half buy for NIP, just Eagle Armors. Which means that we will be seeing at least AWPs. And we actually see, if we just look at the buy that NIP had here, both Twist and nawwk opt for no armor, just a P250, and I think it's an Eagle on nawwk, but they're opting for obviously getting both of them up with the AWP for next round. So that's going to be exciting. See if they can do some magic on this round, though.
Oh boy, how many did he get with one CZ? Well, I think he's headshot floppy as well, so that really turns things into a winning situation, winnable rather. Twist with the high ground, you can see him considering committing, but he can allow his teammates to get into position and with that high ground play off of them. Smoke on lower ramp. That's a high health player. Doesn't really make a fatal connection just yet. If only he found the other one. 2v2 now. S-Tag and Floppy trying to hold on. Down goes Floppy. Brehze with an AK. He's got full armor as well, so it's a fair fight. And that is a massively stolen round from Ninjas in Pajamas.
Oh man, even through the smoke as well. That was definitely looking like an S-Tag round, but rest saves today. Yeah, the CZ, I mean, that's always the risk, right? 12 bullets, they shoot very fast. I can't believe he gets the headshot on the third as well. That's really what they needed. That was a save round, and we talk about economy, like it was in dire shape. Sure, they would have had a decent buy next round, but just the fact of them winning this round of a semi-buy means that they have a lot of money to work with. Gives them a little bit more of a cushion, at least, with a lot more utility. And as we talked about, double op setup now coming in the hands of NIP on both Twist and nawwk. And they're both going outside. We saw, I think it was yesterday, Alex, on C9's CT side, obviously was very keen on pushing the T-con area a little bit with AWP. See on NIP side though, they're opting to pick their riflers aggressive instead, and then they just have the AWPs as backups, essentially on the back end.
That round was a breath of life for Ninjas in Pajamas. They were really on the ropes, but perhaps that's the motivation to get them back into the game. Nice defensive pop flash from Twist. And again, there is a beautiful arching flashbang you can make from there. Well, Floppy's been seen trying to do what he can now since he is position known. Taken off the radar by Plopsky. Ninjas in Pajamas now stabilizing. You can see they really don't have the money. They can survive with 5. That would be fantastic. Teams will do exactly that. Everybody alive as NIP make it to double figures, and their backs have been to the wall, but seems they're forcing their way forward now.
Yeah, the comeback has the potential of being real here. C9 still has some money though. It's just messy with a bit low, 2.6k, but having just the one member on as an SMG, for example, it's not all too bad. Just have to be a little bit mindful of where you end up placing that guy on this round. And that's what we do end up seeing. It actually doesn't offer an SMG, offer Deagle instead. But it's 4 AKs outside of that, he has some C9. They're going for a fast ladder play. Rest is not really ready for it. Semi-good spawn, but goes down. So does hampus here. 5-on-3 situation right off the bat. It's been 20 seconds on the round. And everyone's fighting outside.
Tough spot for Popsy and nawwk, to be certain. Yikes, Alex comes in from the side of the smoke. This matters worse. Oh, they need something, a moment here, but it's impossible. There's just 3 players on top of Popsky. There's nothing you can do. There's just so much hopelessness, I feel like, right now for NIP. Like, again, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Overpass, whereby sort of nothing, they can't really find comfort in their game. And Cloud9 seem to have complete freedom to play their game. And that's obviously not what you ever want.
Yeah, I think the worrisome part here is that if C9 is just going to keep on pushing outside here, like you really have to figure out a way to solve that if you're NIP. And if going aggressive doesn't really work, like obviously we have to look into other options. I think there was a really nice call by C9, knowing as well that they have double up setup on the NIP side, trying to go something fast, choke out the riflers instead, and leave the operas for the smokes. But because NIP won that round, that was a semi-buy, which is the deagles and armors and stuff like that. It does at least allow them for another good buy round here. Won't be seeing the double up setup though. But at least a good amount of utility. We should note though, there's no kit on the hands of NIP now. So when we talk about getting the bomb down and after plant or potential retake, they need to be a little bit quicker at that than normal.
So default spread coming in from Cloud9 again. Alex with that AWP. Covering the peak there, pass into the flames, which is something that has definitely been popular. Brehze playing the dangerous position by the ladder, finds some success. Still in position. That is so important. And I don't think Cloud9 have really tried to clear that spot every single round. So that does give some good information to NIP. And as I say that, of course, Brehze does go down. Floppy gains that control.
And look at the setups here from NIP. This is actually a really good spot if you're to be in it for C9. You have to get the trade here though, and you do, and that leaving hampus in just a very, very tough spot. Make the argument here, Floppy didn't go down ladder, so that's a bonus for hampus here. Only has to focus on the one spot. But C9 actually taking their time here instead. They just calm down. There's 35 seconds left now. With still some utility left on C9. There is a smoke. And we do have our holding angles, just waiting for NIP's push. But you're still not getting a move on. 20 seconds left now.
Well, Mezzi was the only person who's been seen on that A bomb site, which is maybe making them wonder about the B bomb site. Floppy's actually caught one of the rotations, and he's inviting everybody over now, making a forward play. You can see hampus streaming in to die, and Flopsky will be at the back of the bomb site, but of course, the bomb is being planted on A. They waited so long that surely it had to be the real play on B, but no, risks were taken, and they've paid off for Cloud9. They know roughly where Plopsky could be coming from, and he's in a 1 versus 2. No kit, perhaps there's one on the site. Otherwise, things become even more difficult. They could be anywhere. He's got to get his skates on again. If there's no kit, I can see a body on top of green train. 10-second defuse is pretty much not happening. So, well, no defuse will happen. It's match point for Cloud9. 15-10 over Ninjas in Pajamas, who have eco money.
Yeah, not a good place to be in if you're an IP. Eco money or scout SMG money, and that's really what we're getting. That was a great round by C9. Like I said, it was kind of a little bit close for comfort there. You make the argument, had Floppy just gone down ladder as well, you could have just split it, but you know, at the end of the day, it works out nonetheless.
Still a way back here for NIP if they're able to find obviously some kind of success somewhere around the map, but that's just not historically been the story here. You can see that Mezzi is well aware of that Ivy aggression being something that has worked for NIP in previous rounds. So Cloud9 just isolating away any possibility of getting caught out early on by these tactical plays. Oh, Brehze, that's so unfortunate. Very well done by Cloud9.
Oh, he does tag S-tag though, but ends up going down. Nice push from ropz in terms of timing. Alex just jumps down with the pistol. What's... Oh my god.
Oh my god. Style points at the very least.
he's playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I was thinking exactly that.
Everyone else playing Counter-Strike.
Man, okay. 15-10 map and match point for C9. 2-on-2 situation. No kit on NIP. Hampus with a molly and an HE though. We do have Hampus coming from the flank. Gets the first on Alex, leaving Sup in a very difficult spot. Basically just sandwiched in.
Oh boy.
They needed it. It needed to be fast as well on the retake, and that's exactly what happened for Hampus and Twist. Lands both shots there. Keeping them in the game.
Yeah, a really great round from Hampus. The first deagle shot that he got was really key, obviously. And it gives NIP a fighting chance. Winning a clutch like that. Obviously, they don't have to win too many more rounds on the CT side of train. It's not. It wouldn't seem, at least, like an insane ask to get 4 rounds in a row. So we'll see if NIP can find a way to force this to overtime. From an economy standpoint, you can see that Cloud9 are not in the best of places. They are on a half buy for this round, so it's a prime spot for NIP to find some momentum. Ooh, Floppy barely makes it through the flames. Just a P250, of course. Twist takes down Alex in the meantime towards Ivy. So at this point, there's all the information in for NIP. They know what's coming. Just a case of defending it, hitting the shots. And they'll do exactly that.
Yeah. Having all 5 members live won't matter at this point. Since C9's at 15, but it's still a dominant hold. And we look at C9's money. Because of that, I think they were hoping for a bomb plant, but it's still not great. So you're very correct with that. I mean, we think about this eco again, that should be another round win for NIP. It really only leaves C9 2 rounds to work with. They actually buy. Oh, wow. Okay. There should be a plan with this then, with this in mind of buying with Galils and not a lot of utility. You know that what you've been doing has been working, so maybe you're hoping that NIP will think that you're just on a flat on eco. And obviously, again, they're making the right call here, especially when Alex gets the entry on ropz. We know that NIP only has 1 member inside. Now here comes the retake, but C9 already has flooded the bomb site.
Look at these smokes as well. They've limited position so much for ninjas in pajamas, and there's more junk to be thrown as well. Almost everyone's here though for NIP. Save for ropz, of course, because he's dead. 5 on 4, just about for ninjas in pajamas, and it gets better. Hampus getting dropped. There goes Twist, and I think the end is here. Indeed it is. Cloud9, best ninjas in pajamas on train and in the